Go live to Meg now. I believe she's by the airport. Meg?
Yes, and I want to make a point. Y'all were talking about treat all these stop lights when they're out like they are four-way stops. I got to tell you something scary. A lot of them are twisted in the wrong direction, so you don't even know that the stop light was for you. They're either down or they're twisted facing, you know, coming across. So no matter what direction they're facing in, just treat it as a four-way stop. We came over to Airline Highway because we wanted to still try to get to Laplace to cover what's going on there. And we just wanted to show y'all, stop and show you what we saw here. Lots of downed poles, lots of downed electricity, water on both sides of Airline Highway. Now we're on the west side of the airport, so we're just beyond the airport. And this is more of an industrial park area, but both sides of the road have flooded. There's some roofs off, not much traffic out here, but you just kind of see as you leave the city and you get closer to the west where the eye came, this is what you're seeing more and more as we get closer. Now, we're going to keep heading toward Laplace. I'm hearing reports that maybe the Cajun Navy is rescuing people there, and that's what we're trying to find out if that's accurate. So I'm going to make some calls as soon as we get through with this live shot and find out if we can link up with any of them. We know they've done such an incredible job every time there's some big storm or disaster, not only in our own backyard, but also in other people's backyards, Texas and so many places they've been. So that's what we're efforting, so we can get the accurate information for everyone. And we will definitely get back with you when we find out. Reporting live from Kenner, Meg Farris, Eyewitness News.
Meg, you said make some calls. You are able to have, you're having cell phone service?
Yes, Leslie, I have Verizon, and I have had no problems talking to people locally, all over the country, texting and getting phone calls with them. I've talked to people all over the country, friends who are just calling to check, and I've also talked to local people. Yes, I haven't had any problems with my coverage today so far.
That's good.
Yeah, and we heard from Kenner Mayor Benzon just before we went on at midnight. He said there was epic wind damage in the Kenner area. He was talking about what he thought were some reported fires that he hadn't been able to confirm yet. And I thought it was interesting hearing his tone today versus yesterday, Meg, because when we spoke to him yesterday, he was one of the officials really more confident in their preparations. He said he didn't really have any major concerns, and it seems that as he woke up this morning, he realized there was a lot of wind damage, much more, I think, than he expected in Kenner.
Well, that's interesting you say that, because on the way here we were coming down, Williams toward Airline, and we saw the Kenner crews already out with the big shovels pushing trees out of the road and debris, kind of doing the heavy lifting. And so we did see that, and we didn't see that anywhere else yet. But of course, it was daybreak by the time we got to Kenner. But yeah, we did notice that. Now, it's not terrible damage. Like, I'm getting texts from people thinking, oh, it's like Katrina. But Eric, as you and I talked about, it's not the same, because when everyone's house is underwater, that's different than a roof off here and that type of thing here and there. And if we could just move over a little bit, there are about 1 million earthworms all over the road crawling on me, and I want to get out of the shot. You don't need to show them, but anyway.
You don't need to show them.
No,
I know. Meg, our resident pet lover didn't want to step on one. We know that Meg loves all living creatures, so I figured she was just finding a way to work them into this report.
Or she's afraid of earthworms.
Caterpillars and earthworms, I don't need them touching me. Thank you.
And Meg, you were talking about the comparison with Katrina. I mean, you know, roofs were gone. You know, everybody had roof damage, plus you had flood damage. I mean, you're right, it was a whole different ball game. But the wind on this, as Peyton and I were just talking about, this was like a 12-hour tornado that ripped through the state of Louisiana. I'm getting some pictures from a friend of mine who is in Marrero, a lot of damage over there. And if you keep driving around, I'm surprised to see that much water still in that area by where you are.
Yeah, Eric, do you know why? Because we know why it's coming up in Laplace and Hammond with that surge that came into Lake Pontchartrain, Lake Maurepas, being pushed by the wind. But why would it be in this area south of that? That's what is this just rainwater pooling? Maybe Peyton has some perspective on why there's so much right here.
That's what I was wondering. I was wondering where the heck that water came from. It'd have to be, right? And it just hasn't been pumped out.
You'd have to assume, yeah. Or maybe it's a low spot and there's just no pumping.
Well, and the lake is pretty high right now, so I don't know what that, but I don't know. It's got to be, though.
And while we're near the airport, you know, we should talk about the last update we got from the airport was yesterday morning. They were talking about the flight cancellations they made on Saturday, Sunday. And for people waking up this morning going, we don't have power, don't know when we're getting back, I want to fly out, they've already canceled 173 flights for today at MSY.
Yeah, and you know, a big part of the reason is not just the weather, because they could probably fly later today. It's that when they move all the planes out to other places, they have to make the schedule and the crew changes to get the planes back in here. And that's mostly the problem, is that the planes are not where they're normally supposed to be on a regular, you know, schedule. So it's going to take them a while to get all those planes back into MSY.
Definitely.